People are using cash less and less in favor of credit cards and apps. It sounds so convenient, but it could also be very dangerous. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Whenever people these days say that cash is cold and hard, that's because it's dead. Like Pogs, VCRs, and talking to your neighbors, cash is quickly becoming a thing of the past. And one day, cash could disappear or become obsolete. But this could be a big problem. No matter who you are or what your political persuasion, you need cash. And without it, we're all in trouble. Matt Gnazda has more. Matt?
Thanks, Chris. I know having to carry physical money is not as convenient as paying with a credit card or your phone, or the microchip implanted in your hand. I'm not kidding, that's a real thing. I'd rather get a juggalo tattoo put in my skin. That's because while cash may seem less convenient, it's actually super important. And if America actually becomes a cashless society, here are 10 serious dangers we could face. Number 10. For some insight into what a cashless society looks like, let's peer into the future, the Orwellian future, communist China. Over the past few years, China has already become an almost cashless society, especially in the cities. This is due in part to a state-sponsored effort to replace cash. What could possibly be behind an authoritarian government issuing a purely digital currency? Now, imagine you're a Chinese dissident. The Communist Party can immediately shut off your access to your own money. You might be thinking, well, that's China. A Western democracy wouldn't try to shut off someone's access to their bank accounts. Except that already happened in Canada. In February this year, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau ordered banks to freeze funds of truckers protesting against him and his vaccine mandates. If that can happen in Canada, it can definitely happen in America, since America is basically just Canada, but with worse manners. Number 9. If you're feeling fed up with this world, you might want to try living off the grid. But without cash, that won't be possible. Part of being off the grid means not accessing a bank account. So if you can't use cash to pay for shovels, hoses, or any other necessary supplies, you're going to have to make them yourself. And you can't just watch a YouTube tutorial on how to do that either. Not just because you won't have access to the internet, but because if you try searching YouTube for how to make household items, all that pops up are Minecraft videos, which is especially discouraging since everything in Minecraft is done on grids. Number 8. Sometimes you just want to keep what you buy secret. But when you pay electronically, every purchase leaves a digital trail, like on your credit card statement. So without cash, you won't be able to surprise your spouse with a present because they can easily just look at your purchase records by accident right before Christmas every year. And what if you don't want your wife finding out about your medical visits? Or that you're spending money cheating on your diet? Look, sometimes a man just needs a bear claw, okay? And if you think your spouse tracking what you buy is an invasion of privacy, wait until you find out who else is looking at how you spend your money. More after the break. Welcome back. Number 7. Anything you don't pay for in cash could one day be tracked by the IRS. Last year, the administration proposed letting the IRS track bank accounts that do more than $600 in transactions a year. So basically that includes everyone. The Treasury Secretary claimed it was designed to end tax fraud by billionaires and would not mean Americans are being spied on. So she's saying they're doing this to try and stop billionaires from not paying their taxes? If that's true, then why was the threshold set at $600 and not $6 million? After a huge public backlash, Democrats proposed changing it to $10,000 a year. That still would cover almost every American, definitely not just billionaires. Fortunately, that hasn't been implemented, at least not yet. But unfortunately, while the IRS might not be tracking you, giant corporations are. They're tracking everything you buy with your credit card. So I'd recommend you start buying items with cash, unless you want MasterCard knowing you spent $600 on donuts and bad coffee. Number 6. Some people say we shouldn't even have cash because cash allows criminals to commit crimes and get away with it. True, But criminals also use cars to commit crimes. Should we ban cars? Imagine the absolute havoc that would wreak on the Fast and Furious franchise. The government might say, if you're a good person, you don't have anything to hide. But that's not necessarily true. I'm a journalist. Now, I'm not claiming to be a good person, but as a journalist, I may have legitimate reasons for hiding something. Like maybe I'm looking into government corruption, and I need to take a taxi in cash to a secret location to observe an illegal meeting. Or I need cash to buy a burner phone to talk with a whistleblower. Or just not leave a paper trail during my investigation. For certain things, I can't just order stuff on Amazon with my credit card. It'd be too easy for the government to figure out that I bought that burner phone, along with a knee pillow, a French press, and the board game Don't Wake Daddy. Yeah, I know how to party. Number 5. Cashless societies hurt undocumented immigrants. I know this might be a divisive topic. Then again, in this political climate, everything is a divisive topic. A lot of Democrats say they want to improve the lives of undocumented immigrants living in the US. But one thing that's not going to help them is eliminating cash. Many undocumented immigrants are forced to work in cash-only industries because if they have bank accounts, they can be traced. And if they can be traced, immigrations and customs enforcement can find them and deport them. For a lot of undocumented people, cash is the only way they can navigate society. So Democrats, while you're fighting to give them health care, it won't make much of a difference if they don't even have cash to buy food. You're forcing these people off the grid, which is ironic since I've already shown that without physical money, you can't live off the grid. It's a real Cash-22 situation. Number 4, whenever you spend money digitally, you're making someone rich a little bit richer. Because unless you're using cash, every purchase goes through an intermediary, like a bank, a credit card company, or a payment app like Venmo. Or if you're a grandma, PayPal. These services often charge a 2 or 3% fee just to spend your own money. That gets charged to the merchant, who then passes it to you in the form of higher prices. So you're just making big corporations even richer. They're already so powerful they're considered too big to fail. Even when they do mess up, the government just bails them out. Wouldn't it be nice if you lost a bunch of money gambling and the government immediately paid you back? Don't worry, we got you. Now go throw $100 on red for me. And after the break, I'll tell you other ways banks can hurt you when they fail in a cashless society. Welcome back. Number 3, if all your money is in a bank account that you suddenly don't have access to and you don't have any cash, you're out of luck. And it isn't always totalitarian leaders shutting you out. Sometimes it's just system errors. Sweden is one of the first Western countries to go cashless, or close to it. But in April this year, thousands of customers' bank accounts incorrectly showed that they had been emptied or overdrawn. Oopsie! Some Swedish customers had to wait weeks for their account balances to be restored. And what if they needed to buy something in the meantime? They'd have no choice but to pillage local stores. Do you want Vikings in IKEA? Because getting rid of cash is how you get Vikings in IKEA. There are other reasons besides simple bank errors that could cut off your access to your own bank account. Like, what if you're the victim of ID theft and you have to shut down your accounts to resolve it? Or what if there's a power outage? When Hurricane Sandy hit in 2012, millions of people in the Northeast lost power. My neighborhood lost power for 8 days. No power meant no electronic purchases. Cash was the only way to pay for anything. Thank goodness I had some. And thank goodness I didn't live in New York's Little Sweden district. That place was chaos. But even if you want to keep cash for emergencies, it's getting harder and harder. Sense number 2, there's a coin shortage. I've needed to do laundry for weeks, but I don't want to part with my precious quarters, which is why I'm not wearing any pants. Now, it's not too far-fetched to believe that as people use cash less and less, we may soon see a cash shortage in general, and that could hurt various groups. The lack of cash punishes the homeless for being poor. And the neighbor's kid who mows your lawn shouldn't have to get a bank account for you to pay them. And I don't think children should be allowed to have credit cards either. If I'm being honest, I don't even trust 25-year-olds with credit cards. Money well spent right here. And finally, number 1. The biggest danger of living in a cashless society is national security. Russia loves hacking the US, and so does China. Imagine we're at war with Russia or China. Not too far-fetched at this point. And what if they hacked into MasterCard or Citibank or Venmo to collect everyone's personal information? Do you really want them knowing you recently bought a knee pillow, a French press, and the board game Don't Wake Daddy? Xi Jinping and Putin don't need to find out that I know how to party. And if China or Russia hacks into banking institutions just to see people's data, that's the best case scenario. If they're able to disable these financial services, even for just a few minutes, our entire economy could be in serious trouble. Well, more trouble. Look, I know paying with a card seems more convenient, but is giving up cash really worth the risk? Also, cash is just cool. Do you really want to live in a world where rappers no longer flash cash? They're just flashing QR codes? Sounds like a nightmare to me. Back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Matt. What do you think? What are some other dangers of living in a cashless society? Leave your comments below. And remember, America Uncovered is supported mainly by viewers. Be sure to visit patreon.com/AmericaUncovered. Contribute $1 or more per episode. We rely on your support to help us keep making great episodes, or join our exclusive censorship-free social media community on Locals. Check out americauncovered.locals.com. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.